Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope you had a good night's sleep. I hope you're ready for the new day. Of course, today is April the 1st, so let's hope there's no April Fools around the corner today. So, a new month. Probably not the start to April that we'd imagined, but here we are. I nearly didn't come on this morning. I thought to myself, perhaps I should just give up on this. It's probably quite boring. I'm talking too much. What have I got to say? Waffling on here. People probably think I'm a bit stupid. People probably think, what does she know? Who is she? And then I took a deep breath and I thought about it, and I thought, the thing is, we need to carry on. Now, I don't have to carry on doing these videos, but it got me thinking that when things are difficult, when maybe we're starting to feel that things are getting boring, that's the time sometimes we give up. That's the time sometimes we'll go, that's it, I've had enough. And most of the time that doesn't matter. Most of the time it's okay to give up on things. If we think it through, if we make a sensible decision, it's okay to give up on things. But at the moment, there's one thing that it's really important that we don't give up on. And that is staying at home, staying safe, and keeping other people safe. And I think my feeling this morning about, this is boring, I'm going to give up on this, is something that lots of us might start to feel in the next wee while if we haven't felt it already. I think some of us probably felt it on day 2 of being at home. Maybe those teenagers, this is boring, I hate this. But actually, this is the time when we've got to keep going. And it got me thinking about boring and things being boring. And boring is often a word that we associate with teenagers. And as I say, I love teenagers. I think they're the most brilliant humans. They're the most creative humans. They're the most funny humans. And teenagers and boring, they're often words that seem to go together. And so I thought I'd just have a think this morning about this word boring. When I was younger, when I was a kid, sometimes you used to hear children say, this is boring. And adults would say, if it's boring, then you're boring. And I used to find that it used to really annoy me. It used to be one that made me kind of really annoyed. And it wasn't ever particularly said to me, but I used to hear other people say it. And I've worked out now the reason that I didn't like that was because what that child was doing was saying something about how they were feeling. Putting it out there. And an adult was shutting them down and making a personal judgment and saying something about them and their personality. And I think the word boring is an okay thing to talk about, because I think we use the word boring often when we don't really know what we're feeling. This is boring, because maybe we can't find another word to say, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm tired, I'm fed up with being stuck in my house with people who I normally don't have to spend lots of time with. So I think what we need to do with this word boring is just to sit with it and think, okay, what do I really mean by that? And the other thing to remember is that actually being bored, I've talked about teenagers before, but being bored is sometimes an important thing in terms of our biology and our evolution, because if we're bored as humans, what we tend to do is find a solution. We come up with something creative. And sometimes for teenagers in particular, but other people as well, adults as well, it's when we're bored that it forces us to take a risk or to do something a bit daring, to stop ourselves from being bored. And that's where, at the moment, being bored could be a dangerous thing. Because if being bored means that, we take risks and we think, I'm going to go outside and see my friends anyway. Or, I'm going to do something risky no one will ever notice. Going outside and seeing our friends anyway is really dangerous at the moment. going outside and seeing our friends anyway is really dangerous at the moment. And that's the thing we have to remember. And because we're not just thinking beings, we've got physical needs as well. We're driven by our biology. We've got to use our brains if we're feeling bored to think, okay, I'm feeling bored, but I better not do anything stupid. I better not take any big risks. And another thing to say about boredom is that, if we think back to ourselves when we were tiny, when we were toddlers, there's that fantastic thing, isn't there, that parents talk about when they say, I bought my child the most fantastic Christmas present, my 2-year-old, I bought them a fantastic toy. I bought them a great new teddy. All I wanted to do was play with the wrapping paper. I bought a fantastic new teddy, but all they wanted to do was play with the wrapping paper. And that's because on the whole, when we're born and when we're little, we don't get bored. We play with the wrapping paper. We see the beauty in a flower. I remember taking my toddlers, out for a walk, and I was always quite, let's go for a walk, let's cover a few miles. And that thing of they wanted to stay and stop and splash in a puddle. Or they wanted to stop and look at a flower. I think it's important that just now, we remember that about ourselves. And we think, could I actually take a bit more time to look at the flower? There's a flower on the wall behind me. I wonder how many of you have noticed that since I've been doing these videos. I haven't stopped to look at it. That's a picture that my husband took. It's a photograph of a flower on a beach in a place where we used to live in the Outer Hebrides. And if I notice that now, it's made me think about all sorts of things. It's made me remember when we lived in the Outer Hebrides. It's made me think of my friends in the Outer Hebrides. It's made me remember the wind and the sea and the beauty of the place that we lived in. And I hadn't planned this, and that's just come from mentioning a flower, thinking about something, noticing something, and actually look where I've gone there with my imagination. So let's remember that we haven't always been bored. And the other thing is to say that, where's our boredom coming from? Because sometimes we're made to feel bored. We're made to feel bored by people who want to sell us stuff. Those adverts that say, if you have this, your life's going to be amazing. If you buy this cream, your face is going to be amazing. Life will be better. If you go on this holiday, your life will be amazing. If you buy this fantastic car, your life will be amazing. And what that's doing is giving us messages all the time that our life as it is isn't good enough. That if we have more, then our life's going to be more exciting. But actually, and this is where I'll speak from experience of having been on this earth for 50 years, I've been some pretty amazing places on some amazing holidays where I still didn't feel it was enough. I still had that sort of bored feeling, whatever that was. So sometimes we need to really think about what we mean by bored, and can we do things, little tiny things, to help us move on from that? And sometimes we can't. Sometimes we just have to sit with that feeling and know it's going to go away. We will not be bored forever. We will not be in this situation forever. And that's okay. And we'll get through it. And I'm just going to finish, because I'm nearly at 10 minutes, with this little picture that has been circulating on the internet. Now, I've got a friend, I won't say his name because it might embarrass him. Normally when I talk about things and quotes from the internet, he gets straight in touch and says, you do know that's not actually true. Often it's when I quote famous people. So I'm better at it now, and I tend to do a bit of research, but I really like this one. So this is about a man called Isaac Newton, who was a very, very, very massively intelligent person. and he lived in Cambridge. He was part of Cambridge University. And this is a picture. I'm going to say that because I don't really understand the whole GIF thing. And don't start me on TikTok. I'm not even allowed to mention TikTok. Don't tell my children. So this is a picture that's gone round on the internet, and it says, in 1665, the University of Cambridge temporarily closed due to the bubonic plague. So in 1665, the University of Cambridge temporarily closed due to the bubonic plague. Isaac Newton had to work from home, and he used this time to develop calculus and the theory of gravity. Now, if you're bored today, maybe you could do a bit of research and go off and find a bit more about this guy, Isaac Newton. But all I'm going to say is calculus and gravity have been two massive, massive, massive concepts, ideas that he came up with that have changed life. Okay, so he could, during that time, have just gone, oh, this is pretty boring. I'm not in Cambridge, I'm out in the countryside, I'm stuck here. This is really boring. But instead, he used the time to do something that's changed us, changed our world, that's changed society. Now, we all, every single one of us, are born with amazing ideas and things inside us. Every single one of us, you, me, we're amazing because we're part of the same human race that made Isaac Newton. So what could you do when you're feeling bored? What could that boredom help you to do that's a positive thing? What could that boredom help you to create or make? What could that boredom help you to do to help someone else to come up with an answer to a problem? Because remember, we've all got this in here and it's an amazing thing. So have a great day. It's okay to be bored. Don't let that boredom make you do things that are unsafe. More than ever right now, we need to be safe. We need to stay at home. So use that boredom for things that are going to help. Have a great day. Happy April the 1st.